Good morning, everybody. My name is Jo with Jo Wise Leadership, and today we're talking about who you need on your team. So I'll just let Facebook set up while I'll set up here as well. All right, I can see everything is working. I'm just going to share with my other page. Well, I've got a few people coming on. Good morning. Okay, great. All right, got some people on this morning. Good morning, Justice. Hi, Emmy. Lovely to have you on this morning. We've got a couple of people on as well. Hi, Helen. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us this morning. Today is International Women's Day, and for those people that have been on, we've been celebrating International Women's Day all days this week. Today we're going to be talking about who you need on your team. One of the things, I'm just going to get straight into it today. One of the things that we as women do really quite well naturally, many of us, are things like collaborating is what I'm trying to say, networking, communication. Those things come very naturally to many of us. And I want you to start asking yourself who you need on your team. Because when we start to utilize some of our natural strengths like collaboration, like networking, like the way that we can communicate openly and effortlessly, good morning, Stephanie, that can improve all of the results that we're getting. It can deepen the relationships that we're having. It can help us get better results. So today the question I'm asking is, who do you need on your team? And I want you to think about that. Not necessarily just your team that you've got working with you as a leader, but also your team, who's got your back, those types of questions, okay? Because as I said, many of us do naturally collaborate. Many women tend to work really well in a team. We network well, even if you don't necessarily love those networking events, we're able to network really, really well and communicate openly quite well. But one of the things that I've noticed about the way that we can tend to do those things, particularly if we are strong, independent women that are used to pretty much doing a lot of stuff yourself, we can quite often push back on getting any assistance or actually having anyone on our team or letting anybody in or letting anyone have access to have our backs for us. Okay, good morning, Leonie. Nice to see you today. Hi, Kylie. So, think about it. If you're a natural collaborator, if you're a natural networker, if you communicate really, really well, then just have a bit of a look around you and ask yourself who you need on your team. And when you're asking yourself that, really open yourself up and allow yourself to be open to receiving that from other people around you. I've had some stories. Yes, good morning. Happy International Women's Day, everybody. It's nice to have you all on today. One of the things that I've noticed working with a lot of the clients that I have is because we're quite often so good at what we do and our standards are pretty high, we quite often will start to do things ourselves rather than allowing other people to do it because it's easier, it's quicker, I'm going to do it to a better standard. But what happens when we do that is we're actually pushing back on other people being able to help us. We're pushing back on the opportunity for others to feel good about supporting us. And in a work sense, we're pushing back on allowing other people to upskill in their areas. So just open yourself up, ask yourself who you need on your team, and ask yourself, are you being open to allowing those people to come to you? Or do you tend to push things away, push people away and really want to do it all of yourself? So just have an awareness to that. Great, I've just got a couple of people sharing the video, so I just wanted to see what was going on with that. Cool. So the first thing is, ask yourself, am I actually thinking I need to do it all of myself? Because I absolutely will put my hand up very openly and say that there's many times in my life and my career when I've decided to do it all myself rather than rely on anyone else. And the main reasons that I've done that in the past, and I know many of my clients are, as I said, is because in that moment, sometimes it's quicker and easier to do it yourself, or I know I'm going to do it to a better standard than anyone else. But by doing that, we never give anyone the opportunity to do it, or, as I said, or experience the feeling of supporting us. The second thing I want you to think about today is opening up to receiving. It sounds like a little bit of a funny one because, who doesn't love to receive? But many of us that, the previous point I was talking about, when we're pushing back on that, we're actually not allowing ourselves to receive from other people. And as I said, that sort of rips them off in many different ways. Then they're not able to have the experience of doing that thing. And think about it. Do you like to help other people out? Do you like to have other people's back? Do you like that other people trust you to do things? Of course you do. And think of that feeling you get when you do those things for other people. When we're not open to receiving from other people, we're actually shutting that down and not allowing that other person to feel that for us as well. Okay? The other thing is about saying yes when we get offers of help. And I've had this conversation with a few people lately. I love the way things seem to come in groups. Lots of people start talking about very similar things. And it's where they've had offers from people to help them out in particular things around their career. One of my clients particularly is changing to a different industry, and her CEO of her current organization offered her, I can put you in touch with this person. I can speak to the interview panel about this job. I can do this for you. And she was like, oh, thanks. That's really great. No, I'm okay. And she said, though, no, I'm okay. And of course, she had all of these very elegant reasons for why she did that. But ultimately, she was saying no to help. And we can all thrive even more when we get help from others. So just really ask yourself, am I saying yes to the offers of help I'm having around me? And just question yourself, when you're not saying yes, what's the reason for that? Are you telling yourself that that person's just being really nice to you? Well, of course they're being nice to you because they want to help you out. Are you telling, are they saying, just think about what you're telling yourself for the reason that you're saying no. Because there's times when you actually don't want other people's help, and it's a very valid reason because it's going to lead to you down a track where you don't need to go. But just really question yourself on this is, if I'm not saying yes to offers of help, what's the reason behind that? What am I telling myself about this? And is there anything in the areas that, you're not supporting yourself, you're not looking after yourself, you're not coming from an abundant mindset? Thank you for the thumbs up this morning. Okay, and the last thing, which I know is a biggie, so take a breath. That feels better, doesn't it? All right. The last one is be willing to ask for help. I know. Take a moment. It's a big one. For many of us, it's a big one, but we can do it. Yep. Get really clear on what it is you want. Yeah. Bring the qualities along, internal qualities like we talked about yesterday, to support you in that journey to getting where you want to go and what change it is you're wanting to create. And then be willing to ask other people to help you and support you on the way. Thanks, Adam. I know, it's a big one. So for this, there's particular areas of my life where I am more than happy to, I know, I'm getting lots of shocked faces about this one. I totally know. There's particular areas of my life where I'm really happy to ask for help. For example, in the area of parenting and being a mum, I'm more than happy to have people, ask me to look after Marley, to do whatever it is I need done. More than happy with it. But there's other areas in my life, in my career, where I'm not as willing to ask. So those areas where we're not willing to ask for help are usually areas where we're feeling a little insecure, and we kind of feel that we want everyone to think that we know everything and we have everything we need. But it really generally does come back to insecurities. So just have a bit of a spray around, have a little bit of a look around in your life and think about the areas that you probably are asking for help. There may also be areas where you're not willing to ask for help. So just delve a little deeper in those areas as well. Okay. All right. So the big thing about today is, thank you for all the love. Lovely. I always love to start the day with lots of love. Really think about this today. Where are you utilizing other people in your life? And conversely, where are you not? Where could you get more support from people, and which would allow you to get your results, you know, or to take that next step, or to change careers, or to move into another industry, or, you know, go out on a date with your husband, or you know, have a couple of hours to yourself so you can have a bath and light some candles and have a champagne in the bath. You know, think about what is the thing that you really want. You know, do you want to create a movement? Do you want to have a bath? Do you want to take yourself out for coffee? You know, do you want to change industries in your career? And then follow the steps we've done this week, and then ask yourself, where can I get more support? Because so often I hear women particularly say, you know, I don't have the support I need, when it's like you can't see the forest for the trees. When you're in it and you start telling yourself you don't have the support, you don't have the team that you need, that people don't have your back, that's all that you're seeing. So be open to it and see what comes up for you. And I also want you to think about where you want to be in the future, and what is this thing that you want to create with your life or with your career, and start thinking a bit more strategically about your networks. So I've just got some, Helen's just saying it's really hard to shush yourself talk about what other people think, even though we know that we cannot read other people's minds. We do know that we can't read other people's minds, don't we, Helen? But yeah, absolutely. And just with that, Helen, because I know you're not the only person that's thinking about this, when people are asking us for help, for example, just give one example. If somebody says, you know, let me know if I can help you out in this area, and you're like, no, totally, I've got it all covered. And you're saying all this stuff to yourself, like, oh, they're just being nice, or, you know, they don't really have time to offer me help, but they're just being polite, or whatever it is that you're saying. Just listen to those things. Don't listen intently and take it all on, but just allow those things to come in and go, okay, well, is that really the case? How likely is that to really be the case? You know, so just question yourself, get really curious about it, because when we say to ourselves, oh no, that's not right, and push it back, when we resist it, it actually quite often gets bigger. So just allow the self-talk to come up sometimes. It's okay to sort of not listen intently, but just listen to it, where it comes from, and dig down a bit as to what's going on here, and is that actually right? You know, I met up with a client of mine the other day that I finished working with probably 12 to 18 months ago. And she said that over the last couple of months, she's getting so much out of the coaching that we did like 18 months ago. She said one of the things that she's been doing a lot, which is really helping her, is she'll do a bit of self-talk, and then she'll sort of pull back and go, hang on, is that really the case? Like, where's the evidence for that? Yeah. So she's really coming from a place of curiosity rather than, you know, just that negativity, but I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't be having that self-talk, because we all have negative self-talk on some level. Okay. All right. So thank you for that, Helen. That's fantastic. And good morning, Jazzy. Nice to see you. Okay. So what we were talking about was the final thing I want to touch on today is think about strategically how you're approaching your network, because honestly, most of us want to be around people that we like. Yeah, that we naturally connect with, that we naturally feel good around. Yeah, there's also going to be people that are going to come into your life that are going to press your buttons, that are not going to resonate with you a lot. And sometimes those people we need to influence, we need to collaborate with, we need to have conversations with. So thinking about what your future is, where you want to take your next steps, and who is going to be able to support that journey on the way. Yeah. So is it you having conversations with higher level management? Is it you becoming influential with the CEO? Is it you being noticed and visible to the board of directors, or whatever your world is at the moment? Justice says the easiest way I teach people to help me is by asking myself, if they will learn from this situation and what's going to be put it out there. Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? Sometimes I just need help for me. And the other people are going to feel good about it just by doing it. So absolutely, that's excellent, Justice. Thank you for sharing that. So start thinking strategically about your networks. Who's going to support you in your journey? And sometimes those people are not going to be people that you naturally gravitate towards. This is something that I learned quite late in my career. When I first started at American Express, there was a lot of people playing this sort of strategic networking game, and I initially thought, you know, that's not for me, I'm not going to play that game, because I thought it was quite manipulative. But when I got into it and I started to work, I actually realized it was a way of me growing and strengthening a lot of my influential skills as well, because when we start out in something, it's great. So for example, if we're going to be strategically networking to start with, when you're strengthening that muscle, sometimes it's okay to do it with just people that you like, that are going to naturally gravitate towards you. But as you're strengthening that muscle, it's a way of growing is by learning to interact with people that press your buttons and you don't naturally gravitate towards. So have a think about it from a strategic perspective as well, because it's something that can really elevate your career and allow you to move forward in different areas as well. That's it today. So we talked about today, who do you need on your team? So ask yourself that question. That could be your journaling question for today. You know, who you need on your team. Quite often, there's a lot of people out there that are willing to support you, are willing to give you help. If you're open to it, you'll start to see them and you'll start to bring the right people into your lives. Have an amazing day. I look forward to hearing from you. So if you've got any comments or questions, please do that. I will check in later on in the day. Thank you for your love, Leonie. And have an amazing International Women's Day today. I actually was feeling a little like being alone on Christmas today, because I was asked to speak at a Women in Leadership, at an International Women's Day speaking event today, and it got pulled last minute, like on the end of last week. So I didn't book anything. And then when I went to book a heap of events this week, they were all booked out. But luckily for me, somebody called me yesterday and interviewed me about it, so I do feel like I'm still involved. So I was feeling a little like spending Christmas alone today, spending International Women's Day alone. But anyway, I've got today. It's great. I've actually got a really great meeting coming up at this morning about some strategic alliances, and also meeting somebody this afternoon to have a bit of a chat about some networking opportunities that could be coming up. So let me know what you're up to today. Have a fabulous day, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. See you later.